Peay, Reese Britt, Christian Hunt, and Dylan Walton. Guys, it's always great to be back. How's everybody doing?
It's good, man. It's good. How are you doing? I know you started golf back up, getting back in the swing of things, pun intended.
No,
At least trying to. Today has been crazy. I went from workouts to practice to now here. So hopefully after this, I can kick the feet up, watch some basketball and whatnot. But what about you, Dylan? What's going on, buddy?
Working, getting to it, watching all my subscriptions, drain my bank account away, but make me happy and entertained. So I'm living the best of both worlds.
The American dream.
Yeah.
The American dream.
Yep.
But, well, guys, let's get right into it. Women's basketball, 5-game losing streak. They fell to Florida Gulf Coast, which is a good basketball team. I want to preface that first and foremost. They lost 65-54. Lanaya Foster led the team with 17 points, 6 rebounds. Anala Nelson, she contributed 14 points, 3 boards, and 3 assists. Shamari Hale, which is widely known as probably our best player for the Lady Govs, she was actually limited to 11 points and 4 boards. So wasn't the outcome that we wanted, but at least we got some scores in double digits. That's not been the case for the past couple games.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird thing because last week we talked about how it's basically the Shamari Hale show, and then basically whoever shows up that night, and then the night we get 3 double-digit scoring, on our team, and then we just happen to face the best team in the ASUN. And I mean, like you said, Florida Gulf Coast. I mean, we were there for the first half. We were doing some interviews for the College of Arts and Letters. It was like a College of Arts and Letters night, so we were doing we had a setup with the interviews
like for freshmen and stuff.
It was really anybody. It was really cool. Isabella interviewed these 2 little girls that were the cutest little thing, and I think they're going up on the YouTube here pretty soon. But I know one of his name was Mia. I can't remember the other one, but anyway. But we were there, and Florida Gulf Coast was really good from 3, and that was really the big difference in this game is they had a lot of perimeter 3-point shooters, and we don't.
Yeah, Austin Peay went 0 for 5 from the 3-point line, and then the Eagles went 7 for 19. So I mean, that's your ball game right there.
That's a 21-point difference alone.
Yeah, and so what really kind of sparks my interest looking at the scorers was 17 points from Foster, 14 for Nelson, and Hale had 11, and we still only scored 54 points. That
defense Florida Gulf Coast has is like tremendous. I was watching it in class earlier. Y'all know me. I don't.
You're in class, but you're not in class.
Yeah. My body was there, but mentally I was locked in. But I think it was like offensive. They had a bunch of good shots. The Lady Girls had a bunch of good shots. They tried to force the ball in the Hale a few times, couldn't get it to go much. And what's her name? Nelson and Foster, they had easy mid-range jump shots for a good portion of the first and second half and shot them hard because they weren't contested much. So they missed a lot of open looks. And that Florida Gulf offense is nothing to play with. It's motion, screens, cuts all day long, and we just couldn't keep up.
But that's what happens when you don't have any form of perimeter shots is they basically just congest the middle, and they dare you to take 3-point shots or mid-range shots. And if you hit them, great.
If you don't,
if you don't, then it's you have no form of offense. I mean, in the modern age of college basketball, both men's and women's, I don't think you're going to win a lot of games if you don't hit a single 3.
Yeah, no, I don't think you win. I don't think you win a game if you don't at least hit a single 3 in that
unless you play like 85 level Bears like defense I mean, listen, you look at everything Florida Gulf Coast did well, shoot the ball 3, hit their freebies from the line, but even then it's like, okay, it's an 11-point game. It's not
out of reach.
It's not out of reach, and that's really what's the frustrating thing on my part. It's like it's not that we're not there. It's not that we're not in these games. I think you mentioned last week. We're that close, but it's like free throws and no perimeter shots. I mean, that's really going to hurt you in the modern basketball era.
Yeah, and something you mentioned last week about it was, 10 points in basketball is not 10 points in football.
No,
10 points in basketball is nothing. I mean, that can be eviscerated in 3 minutes maybe. And, when you play, I guess they play quarters, right? So it's 8-minute quarters.
Yeah, 4 10-minute quarters.
Oh, 10-minute quarters. Okay.
8 is high school. I did learn
That's
that
right.
last week.
And then the men is 220.
220.
I need the 4 quarters in the men's. That'll make the games way more interesting.
You think so?
Yes, because the quarter-by-quarter aspect. If you do 10 minutes for every quarter, there's something – the intensity builds up the last 1 minute of every quarter. I don't have to sit there and watch y'all play, pick a kid from the bench, give him to play in the game every 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
When there's a quarter, you have to play within the quarter. Halves is just go out there and get some good cardio, and let's hope we win when it comes down in the second half.
And what's interesting is I think you would see a lot less of those bench players play in that situation because, I was just thinking, from the games I watched last night, they had guys that probably wouldn't originally play if they had those 4 quarters, like you said, because you've got to get your star players at least 3 to 4 minutes of rest. Because if they go 20 minutes straight playing tough defense, having to score on offense, run the offense, their legs are pretty much shot by that 5 to 4 minute mark in the second half. So I like where your head's at on that aspect. But getting back to this, it's frustrating for the Lady Govs. They fall to 9-12 overall, 2-5 in the ASUN. They're just slowly making their way down the standings in the ASUN. And, for a team that had so much, preseason hype and so much, on their plate like that, it's a little disheartening, especially for, us and really for those players.
Yeah, and you mentioned, the aspect of minutes and how many, minutes each player gets. We had 8 players playing this game. So I think that's a huge part of it because, you take a look at, Lanaya, she played 34 minutes. Nelson, she played 39 – or Foster played 34 minutes, Nelson played 39. And then Douglas, who only scored 2 points, played 31. So that's 3 right there. That's playing 3.5 or 3 full quarters. Right. Shamari and Haywood each had 20, and then Hargrove came off the bench with 24 minutes. But, 8 players, I don't know – I don't know their injury situation, but it doesn't seem like they must have a couple at least out. And so that definitely doesn't help when you're going into a game with 3 rotation players.
The Lady Govs will travel to Kennesaw State for their next game. That'll be Thursday, February 1st. So
I got Key on that. My homeboy is the grad assistant over there on the women's team. So we got a good shot. Nothing to say.
You got a scout already.
Nah, I don't have a – well, yes, I do have a scout because that's my boy. That's one of my best friends.
Some questionable film acquisition or –
Yeah,
I can't give up my source.
How committed are you to the Govs? That's the question.
That's the real
question.
question.
I'm just saying, based on what I've seen and heard, it's going to be a good game. Okay. 2 teams that are struggling at the moment. So I think Thursday, hopefully we can get back on track because we're not a bad team. I think we're one of the top teams in the conference and in women's basketball overall.
Preseason, that's where they had us. I think they had us at like 5 or 4, somewhere in there, maybe 6, somewhere in that
top
upper
10.
Upper echelon of the ASUN. But season's not gone the way that a lot of people have thought. But it is what it is. They get back in action on Thursday, February 1st. So tune into that game. And Lady Govs, they're only 5 games back of the top dog in the ASUN. So if they can, maybe get on a 5-game winning streak or something like that, which I know that's tough in basketball, but anything can happen. So we'll see on that aspect. But really quick, go follow us on social media at APSU Crunchtime on both Instagram and Twitter. We try and post stuff there at least once a day, maybe twice a day, whenever we get around to it. But definitely go follow us on those media outlets. So let's get on to men's basketball. The men's team, they dropped 2 straight games, most recently to Florida Gulf Coast as well, 73-67. The team was led by DeMarcus Sharp, 16 points, 7 assists, 5 boards. I don't think anybody's questioning that DeMarcus Sharp is the guy for the Governors. I mean, that guy can go.
When he goes, and it sounds weird because it seems like he's always at the top of the board, but he goes as the team goes.
Yep.
So if he's not hitting, then most likely the Govs aren't hitting. But Jamonte Black,
yep.
I think he's really the X factor because you take a look at his stats right here on the graphic. He was 4 of 12 from 3-point range. So statistically it's not terrible because I think it's 33%.
Yeah, right.
It's not terrible, but man.
But he is. I deemed him first game I've seen. He's the best shooter in college basketball, and I seen the stat on Austin Peay Twitter. It's like he's top 3 in makes, top 6 in attempts, or I may not be right, but I know he's top 10 in shot attempts, makes, percentage, most made in Austin Peay history. He's up there as far as when it comes to shooting the ball and making records, not only in NCAA but for the school.
Well, when you're shooting 12 a game,
he got a burner.
Yeah,
he legit.
When you're shooting 12 a game, it's like, all right, you're probably gonna at least be upper echelon of attempts. But let's try to get it to 5 or 6. I mean, 4 is not bad, but at the same time, it's like when you miss 8.
That's what I'm saying. When you're shooting at that volume, you know, it's like you're taking higher percentage shots away from the other guys on the team, like Jamonte, that can, you know, he doesn't shoot many threes. He gets to that like high post level and, you know, elevates
that
and
mid-range,
shoot that mid-range game, and he gets to the post. And I mean, Say Witt, also a guy in double digits. You know, he's kind of turned it on the back half of this season, and so, you know, I'd like to see maybe, you know, get the ball down low, maybe get some higher percentage
inside
shots
out.
up, you know, and then once they start doubling on him, kick it to the corner to your, you know, shot makers like Jamonte Black and Des White?
Desi White, yeah.
Desi White, yeah.
But see, they don't really have anybody like that. They really don't have anybody that they could just kick it down in the paint to. That's the problem. That's the issue we've talked about all season, probably talk about till the season is over and even after. It's just they don't have really a post presence that you feel like, okay, you can condense the defense to the paint to where you can get those higher look from 3 ball. You know, really, I feel like it's, you know, it's, and it sounds like we're beating a dead horse, but it's when they're hitting threes, then they're on it. But when they're not, it's gonna be a struggle.
Tough, especially if, you know, a guy like Say Witt's not scoring 27 points a night like he did. I want to say, who did they play?
Central
Arkansas.
Yeah.
That's right. So, you know, when you're in Central Arkansas, scored a lot of points too.
71,
you know?
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
We just shot at the lights out, and that. And when you get a team like that, there's really nothing you can do.
Right. Yeah. On the other side, for Florida Gulf Coast, that's a mouthful to say. They were led by Isaiah Thompson. He had 21 points, 3 boards, and 2 assists. Only one other Eagles player was in double figures, so that was definitely a team effort from the Eagles when it boils down to it.
Yep. I mean, Dylan, you can speak for this, but just these stats that bother me, and I don't know what it is with Austin Peay basketball, but we just refuse to hit free throws. I mean, we went 7 of 12 from the charity stripe. They went 13 of 17. I mean,
same number, but
we lost by 6, and so they hit.
That's it right there.
6 more free throws than us. So that's at least a tie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I don't know. That's the frustrating part. If I'm a coach and we go 50, anything below 60% from the free throw, it's like that's all we're doing the next practice.
As a team, bro, you have to shoot.
Awesome.
As a team, and especially this team that's full of guards. The guards, the rule is, I played combo guard. Rule was you have to make free throws. That is what you do. You initiate the offense.
Yeah.
So you're the one with the ball in his hands. You're gonna get fouled. I'll never forget this. It was a game. I didn't have a good warm up. None of that. Didn't stretch. I just fell off. Bro, I missed 9 straight free throws, y'all. I missed 9 straight free throws. That next practice, I did not touch a ball. I ran for about 25 minutes straight. Then after that, I had to shoot 100 free throws, then shoot 70%, because there's no point in being able to shoot free throws only when you can breathe and you condition well. It's about late game or late clock situations or whatever, when it's the ability to knock down free throws is crucial. And I struggled that game. So ever since then, free throws matter to me. I don't play around with free throws. I got PTSD.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you there, but it's in the name. It's free throws. It is a 15-footer. You know that, and I'm not saying it is easy whatsoever, because you put me in that situation, and I'm probably not hitting both.
Bricks.
All right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you can't
I'm a
hit
pretty
both.
good shooter. Oh, well, I might be able to hit both. Who knows?
You're gonna break at least one.
That's what I'm saying. Like with everything going, you put me in that game situation.
It's hard. I ain't
and
gonna
you're
lie.
running up and down, and you're playing defense, and you're running everywhere for that amount of time, and you've got to step up there, calm yourself down first and foremost.
But it's so hard. Then people
It's so
talking,
hard.
bro.
Yeah, like and nobody's gonna sit up here and say that any gym that this team plays in is a tough environment, but still, it's like
it's hard.
Yeah, it's just super difficult. So the Govs shot 7 for 12, which equivalated to 58%, while FGCU shot 13 for 17. So that's what you're saying.
That's the
6
difference in the
points.
game, right there. It's and again, it's like you said, it's easy for us to say. But, like, the way I look at it for college basketball, like, if you're a 1 or a 2, you probably need to be in the upper 70s to low 80s at minimum.
Yep.
3 to 4, you can probably get in the mid-60s, even lower 60s to be kind of where you need to be. Yeah. Centers,
keep it the same. For the fours and centers need to shoot the same.
Centers, it's like if they're in the 50 to 60, you're okay, but you're not great. But, again, like, when you've got, like you said, a team full of guards and they're going 50% consistently from the night, that is not good. that's on the players and the coaches. That's like, okay, we need to just shoot free throws. You need to get back to fundamental basketball.
And I wonder how many of these free throws the Governors shot were in the bonus. So where it's a 1-and-1 situation, you miss the first, you're not getting a second.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
that
like
is a good
exactly.
That's a good one.
So really, if you're not shooting, if you're not making your first, you don't even get an opportunity to get 2 points in the line, let alone one. So I'd be interested to see at what point in the game they did shoot those free throws.
But
once
even
you get
then,
into the bonus
that can
plus,
be
it's
controlled. Okay, we scrimmage. Let's scrimmage. Every foul in this entire scrimmage
1-and-1
are 1-and-1s.
Yeah.
You can plan for those moments. I'm starting to get into the coaching realm now. So I didn't talk to coaches all week, so they've been filling me up with all types of knowledge and stuff. But you can control those situations, so we can't give them excuses, especially not guards. No, bro. Guards cannot miss free throws.
That's something that you can control.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying you're going to be perfect, but that's something that you can control as a basketball team is how good you are at the free throw line. And I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like to be the trend in college basketball now, where it's like even guards are just not good free throw shooters. Whereas felt like 10 years ago, like any point guard was shooting at least middle 70s, upper 80s at minimum.
Yeah. And that's what it comes down to, too, like when you get into tournament play. And, like, I'm just thinking March Madness on a bigger scale than what the Governors are going to play in this year. But, like, in March Madness, free throws matter even more than the regular season. I've seen so many games where, 2-point game, you get fouled, go into the free throw line, he hits 2, game's over. Like, game is legit over at that point. If you've got 10 seconds left, 4-point play is out of the realm of possibility in that aspect. So, maybe in the ASUN tournament, that could play a part if Govs can, figure it out, shoot some free throws, make sure you hit them. But for right now, the men's team sits at 10-12 overall, 3-4 within the conference, well within striking distance, by the way, of getting a high seed, well in striking distance.
Which is crazy because of, they're on this 2-game skid, but like, it's almost like you get like a like the NFC South in the NFL where it's like there's not great ball at times, but like God Almighty, you're right there. And you're not out of it.
No, I think the Panthers were still in that like playoff contention until like week 14 or something
15,
like that.
It was and they had one win, and they were like, well, they're still mathematically in it. And it's like they have one win.
Yeah, that's when you throw math out the window because that's ridiculous. But the Eagles improved to 9-13 on the year, 3-4 in the conference. So. Not a game you really wanted to lose if you were the Governors, especially to a team that you're battling for position right there at the 3-4 line. But still, like I said, well within striking distance. So we'll see what happens. But next game for the men's team, it'll close out the end of the month, January 31st, which is today. Nice. Against Jacksonville. It's at Jacksonville, so make sure tune into ESPN Plus broadcast. Listen to them. I think it'll be Jacksonville's. It'll be Jacksonville's.
Yeah, it'll be their crew.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so definitely tune into that game. But Jacksonville finds themselves at 10-11, 1-6 in the conference. So this is a great opportunity for the Governors to go in there, get a good win.
Conference-wise, but 10-11 ain't bad, though, because we're in the same boat, right? Well, 10-12?
We're 10-12.
10-12, yeah.
So that probably means they played a lot of, like, maybe G5 or even Power 5 teams at the beginning of the season.
Which a lot of teams do. I mean, the Governors do it. So, trying to collect a check maybe.
Hey, listen, every penny counts at this level.
Absolutely. No, it does. So, but, I want to touch a little bit on this game we're going to have tonight. Jacksonville 1-6 in the conference, like I just stated. Obviously, they might have played some upper echelon teams in the conference, but, when you look at some of the teams that like equally like teams that Austin Peay's played and Jacksonville's played, I mean, this is a great opportunity. I mean, they could go in there and get a good win at a offsite gym, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of, you don't want to say like a get right game, but it kind of feels that way because this is like you said, a very winnable game.
Yeah, and
so you feel like, okay, you get this one where you're not. It doesn't solve all your problems, but at least gets the taste out of 2-game skid out of the mouth and gets you kind of back to where you want to be.
Right. No, that's exactly right.
And plus, they're the Dolphins, dude. We can't lose to the Dolphins.
Yeah, you don't want to lose to the Dolphins.
Like
especially.
who? Like
I mean,
you can't lose to a team called the Dolphins. Like,
well, especially when they're sitting 1-6 in the conference. Like, I mean, you can't. If you're Austin Peay, you can't afford to lose that game.
And I mean, to be fair to them, I mean, you take a look at their losses: Xavier, Pitt. UCF, South Carolina State, Purdue.
Purdue beat them out the water.
Yeah, and then you've got their
Bellarmine. They played Bellarmine too.
Yeah, so I mean they're pretty brutal in the conference. They got some wins over some small teams like Erskine, never heard of them. Trinity Baptist, never heard of them. Johnsonville, Florida, never heard of them. So
they beat Queens by 2 though.
That's their only conference win.
I think Queens is pretty horrid this year. I don't think. I mean, what are they They're at like the bottom of the ASUN.
1-3 in the conference, 7-12. So,
yeah, they're not a good ball club.
They only played 4 conference games. How does that work?
They They probably got a strong back end.
Scheduling is so weird.
Yeah, they probably have a strong back end of conference games.
I know, especially. But yeah, so everybody tune into that. The guys have a great opportunity tonight, like I keep saying. So definitely tune into that game. But let's move on a little bit into my realm, men's golf. The men's golf team, they'll open up their season here in 2 weeks. They open up with a Battle of the Border, February 10th.
Well, it is they.
Well, it is they.
In his case,
it is they. So,
me and you are on the team now. We're honorary members.
You can be honorary captains.
Heck yeah.
Hey, if y'all need a manager or something, I'm down, bro. I'm for real.
I can get you off the tee. Like I'll hit a sick drive, and then after that, you guys got to handle the rest.
I carry y'all clubs around.
Shoot, dude,
iron polos, I do whatever, bro.
You guys have to carry your clubs, right? Like that's a rule, right?
I mean, yes, you can carry, or like if it's a long 36-hole day, because we do that for the people at home. We do walk 36 holes. We can put them on like a push cart, so like it keeps it off the back caddy. And do what?
What is that called, a caddy or what?
Yeah. I mean, like if you were gonna caddy or if you were gonna carry my clubs, you'd be my caddy for the day or whatever.
Oh, that's the person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So like you would be the caddy. Which caddies make a lot of money.
I was just
if you do it at the pro level.
Yeah, I was just going to say
even
that.
like a nice like golf club, you make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, with tips and whatnot. But like these guys on tour that'll caddy for somebody. I mean, like I think Jordan Spieth's caddy in like 2015 when he had that breakout year. I mean, he made like $7 million. Just to carry. Well, now there's a lot more than just carrying the clubs. Like they can't use rangefinders, so they don't know how far the hole is away. So you got to have yardage books. You got to be like yardage markers in the fairway. You got to calculate all this type stuff with the wind and there's a lot more to golf than what the average person.
So y'all really over there going back and forth.
It's like you're his assistant. Like you're literally his personal assistant on the golf course.
Yeah.
You know what? That don't sound too bad.
No.
Yeah, I mean, but when you're doing it week after week after week, you've got to go on the course like on the Tuesday before the tournament. They start on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Well, I mean, you feel the grass a little bit, and then you got to you got to make sure the pin locations where they are, and you got to get yardages in the fairway. It's a whole ordeal that we could probably do a podcast.
I would love
just
to see that. I would love to see that.
But nobody wants to hear about that. But yeah, we'll
we're a tentative audience right now. We're like, this is great. This is
awesome.
Yeah.
Nobody at home wants to hear me blab about
but they need
PJ
to pick up the golf clubs.
Yeah, man, it's fun, dude. I'm terrible at it, but it's so fun when you play with 4 or 5 of your buddies. It's so fun.
Yeah, no, it's a good time. It's something you can play for the rest of your life too.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Whereas you got to play and you're like trying to beat somebody into the dirt.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
When I go out with some of the buddies back home that can't play, it's a little boring when it comes down to it. I enjoy it because they're there, but
you need competition.
Yeah, competition
basically you're the GOAT and they're worthless.
I don't know about that.
Their skills do not make the yours.
No, but it's good. So we'll play a match play, which is 1 up, 1 down, whoever wins the hole, whatever, for 18 holes against Murray State. So they'll come from Murray, we'll come from Clarksville, and we'll play up there at Hopkinsville Country Club on the 10th. So if anybody's near Hopkinsville, just pop on out, watch some golf for a little bit. But yeah, I think this season will be good for us. I wouldn't say we've struggled in the past 2 semesters, but we haven't had a win. And that's the biggest thing in golf. That's how you climb up the rankings is, you got to win tournaments. We've had 3rd place finish, 2nd place finish, 4th, 3rd. Like we've been around the winner's circle a lot, but we just haven't cracked into that, top tier. So, but we're playing a lot of good tournaments and we're playing a lot of good teams that, we're going to have to play our best golf to beat as, any athletic team.
This is your perfect opportunity against the rival.
Exactly. Yeah. Rival, man. That's, it runs a little deeper, the hatred for Murray. So, but it says what are Reese's personal goals for this season. I love that. I just said, I just think I want the team to win, one or two events. I think no, dude,
Put the team on his back. Put him on.
No.
Let me get my backpack. Let me put him on my back. That's what he wants.
It's good. I have played really well the past couple semesters, so I've been grateful enough to play really well. But I really would love for the team to get a win. I think once you crack that winner circle one time, it seems to flow into the next event and the next event and so on. So I'm really hoping we can do that, build some momentum for the future. So, but women's golf next. The women's golf team will start much later than the men's, obviously, but their first match is not until March 4th with the Huntsville.org Intercollegiate at Sanford. So Sanford's hosting that tournament. Weird name, but they've gone to that tournament for the past couple years.
Why do they start like almost a whole month after you guys? What is with that?
I don't know. My best guess is all of these teams want warmer weather, especially, and we're traveling to Florida. In the why are you looking like?
I mean, yeah,
that didn't make sense.
Yeah, who does it?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You think the football team wants to be out there in
the cold?
Yeah,
tomorrow morning when it's 10 degrees.
Right, but I think that's the thought process behind the girls starting a little later. And Lord, if I could, if I had any scheduling thing, and I would power scheduling, I'd probably have it start a little later, but. We're gonna be February 10th, man. So I'm hoping
it's gonna be cold, bro.
We're gonna have a puffer jacket on, trying to hit a what's it, the putt?
Hit a putt, or hit a tee shot.
I just lost my mind for like 2 seconds. I was like, what is it?
You lost your golf credit. Right
I did. I just lost all credit.
All this golf talk, man.
Par 5.
Nobody wants it.
That's all.
Yeah. Par 3. No, but the women's golf team started the fall with multiple first and second place finishes. They had a rough ending to the season, but finishing 4th and 6th in their last 2 tournaments. But they're a really good team for this level. They're a really good golf team. We're really tight as teams, men's and women's, and we hang out with them a lot, practice with them. And they're really solid. Like they've got a girl. Shout out Erica Scott. She could probably play at the Power 5 level. Like she could probably play at a Georgia, an Oklahoma, Tennessee, something like that. Well, that's the thing. She doesn't want to do that. Like she's very
loyal to the soil.
She's very loyal. Yeah, which is really
she's
cool.
One
better than me.
One of
right?
few.
I've been out of here.
Shoot.
But 1 through 5 for them, they're very good. They're very good. So definitely follow along for the viewers at home. The golf teams plural need some love. So
they don't stream y'all on ESPN Plus.
I wish.
I don't think there's many golf teams that are getting their stuff broadcast. I mean, just golf in general. I mean,
it's hard to watch.
It's hard to broadcast too because everybody's on a different hole. So unless you set cameras up, and they actually have the ASUN Championship was broadcast on ESPN Plus. I think 2 years ago. Same with the MAC. And what conference is that? Louisiana Lafayette. What conference are they playing? Conference USA? No.
Is American maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, the American was on there. So what they've done though is they'll just like put cameras on certain holes, like tee boxes and greens, and they'll have announcers or whatever, and they'll just video that hole or like that and said hole,
and
then
rapid a bunch of rapid
and
movement.
so because there's groups coming through those holes all together, whatever, and then the next group will come on the tee, and then that group will be on the green, and so forth. So
imagine Jim Nance before we get out of here. Imagine Jim Nance going and Reese Britt lines up the putt.
Gosh, man.
And then a little.
He cranks it.
And then he just does a little, like the Tiger Woods, pump up.
The walk.
Yeah, everybody goes nuts.
I'll walk it in. I'll walk the putt in. Yeah, that would be ideal, but I doubt the ASUN has the budget for Jim Nance.
No.
And do their
that's the entire budget. It's not even
real.
Right. It's their entire budget probably is not enough for Jim Nance to do one golf tournament. But before we get out of here, I want to say softball starts in I think 2 weeks, baseball in 3. So definitely check that out. And we had some preseason all ASUN selections for softball.
Jordan Benefield and Kylie Campbell.
Yeah. So first baseman Kylie Campbell and then pitcher Jordan Benefield. She had a really good year last year. Same with Kylie Campbell. But, they're definitely check them out. But before we get out of here, thank you to Doc V for letting us use the studio, Steve Sawyer, David Ellison, Isabella Christensen, Trey Whiteout, and Paige Hearn, the GAs. And for this episode, it's Crunch Time.